I asked Marlene for just a moment at the end because we have these to give to the 3 outgoing people. Can you see the certificate? May not be able to read it, but you're blocked, Jackie. You're muted, I mean.
You mean the Zoom 5.0?
Yeah.
What's certificate?
These are a certificate of appreciation for your outgoing board members. So
Okay.
Jennifer put together some nice certificates, and after they're signed by the rest of you, then we'll frame them and get them to them. So we have one for Wayne and one for Ton, and even one for Marlene. Jennifer put together some nice certificates, and after they're signed by the rest of you, then we'll frame them and get them to them.
Hello, can somebody hear me?
So
Yes, we can hear you, Wayne.
for Ton.
Hi, Wayne.
Okay.
You can hear us?
Hi.
It looks like we're all here. I guess it's 7 o'clock. Let's get going then, huh? Is everybody ready? Okay. I'd like to call this November 10th meeting of the Northfield Township Board to order. And I would like to state that this meeting is being held electronically to comply with Health Department orders and guidance and to reduce the risk of spreading disease at a live meeting. Now we'll have the invocation and the pledge. And we've got, Ton has volunteered to do this, so we'll allow that. Go ahead.
Are we
Ms.
ready?
Belcher. Yes, we are ready.
Okay. May we give thanks for this delightful warm weather. And dear God, as humble guests of your creation, may we seek thy love and wisdom as we deliberate over the business and policies of our township. And Heavenly Father, may thy watchful eye and guiding hand nurture and protect the incoming board, and may they be available to thy generous blessings. Amen.
Amen. Okay, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll, Clerk Manley, and I would like to remind all of you to state your location when you indicate that you are here.
All right, check. Whitmore Lake, here. Villager.
Here, South Lyon.
Otto.
Present, Whitmore Lake.
Zelenak.
Present, Northfield Township.
Manley, present, Northfield Township. Chockley.
Present, Northfield Township.
All here. Oh, Docket.
President, Northfield Township, 9097 Main Street.
All right.
Okay.
All here.
Okay. Now we have an opportunity for call to the public. And if any members of the public who have joined us tonight would like to speak, please raise your hand and I'll unmute you. We have Scott Chisholm.
Yeah, hi there.
Hi.
This is Scott Chisholm. I'm president of the Horseshoe Lake Corporation. And I understand, looking at the, because Marlene told me and Jackie told me, and looking at the agenda that you're talking about the Horseshoe Lake wetland preserve. And I just wanted to let you know that back when this came up before, I was in favor of it, mostly, almost 100%. I have not put this in front of my board yet, so because I didn't think this would come back. So it hasn't been put up in front of the board, and they have not approved it. But just in talking to some of them on, nothing official, because I can't do that because we're subject to the Open Meetings Act just like you are. But I'm a favorite, and I know a number of them are in favor as well. I don't know the exact way the vote would come down. But however, this is a fine compromise, or well, fine resolution of this issue with us. The only thing I would ask is if we could check with the attorney to see if there is something that could be added to the documentation that said that stating that there'd be no development on the property allowed, or maybe a deed restriction as far as any kind of development. That's the only thing that I've heard of from residents and others that might be a hang up here. They just want to be sure, because we don't know what's going to happen 25 years down the road when there's a totally different board. They might have different ideas, and I just want to make sure that this will never be developed by the township.
Thank you, Mr. Chisholm. Appreciate that. Okay, we have Ms. Koenig. Go ahead, Ms. Koenig. Hello? You need to turn your sound up or something so we can hear you.
Does the person know that you called them, Marlene?
Yes, she unmuted. I believe we're good there. Is it Shannon, do you think? Or Cece? Shannon or Cece? We're allowing you to address us at this point. Well, why don't you try again in a couple minutes?
She's saying that she's trying to unmute herself.
Well, I've got her unmuted, so I don't know how to help her. You think she's on her computer?
Yeah, she's asking if she can just type her comment.
Oh, and I could read it. Sure.
That's fine.
Okay, so there's a Q&A. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Shannon. Can you type a comment? Yes. Okay, she says, I know you were talking about the AT&T contract tonight. Extension. 5 years. It's a long one. I would like to ask you to postpone this. Is that all you have for us? Oh, no, because it would allow AT&T to introduce 5G technology in the right-of-way. I am talking with an attorney knowledgeable about this, working with cities around the world. I'm guessing, oh, no. To help cities keep from being railroaded. By the communications companies. Would the township consider postponing the contract? That's a question. Okay. Thank you, Miss Koenig. Oh, it has been expired for a while now. Oh. Is that all? Okay, Mr. Chisholm suggests that there's a pop-up window behind your main Zoom screen with a button asking you to unmute your connection. Oh, she says she's done, yes, if we have understood her. I think so. Thank you. Okay, do we have anyone else who would like to speak to us tonight in the attendees? Okay, we have Nate Macho.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Marlene. This is Nate Moko. I was just recently elected to the Board of Trustees. I just want to say thank you to everybody who voted, and Marlene and Ton and Wayne, thank you for everything you've done. I wish you well, and I'm looking forward to working with everyone else that's still on the board and working in town. So I just want to say thank you to everybody, and I'm looking forward to a real good 4 years. That's all, and I'll sit back and listen.
Thank you. Do you have anyone else who would like to speak now? Okay, I'm not seeing any other hands up. Okay, so we'll move on to the agenda. Board member response to call to the public. Does anyone have anything they would like to state in response?
I do.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Dockett.
Okay, I'd like to just say quickly, thank you for the thank you, and I'm glad I'm passing the job on to somebody else. The Horseshoe Lake Association is a public lake association. The lake is not open for recreation to the taxpayers of Northfield Township. We're paying the tax on all that property, but it's not open to us if we go through with this. I would like the rest of the taxpayers. Why should the rest of the taxpayers of Northfield Township give up the tax money that is generated from those lots? I don't think we should. I would like to get a report from our assessor how much money the whole township's going to lose by doing this. I'm going to vote no on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bellinger.
I want to thank Nate for the kind words for us outgoing board members. Thank him for that. I do want to, this Metro Act thing that Shannon referred to, it says something about there's a different contract. Our attorney says something about a renewal, something different. I got the email today. What does it say here? The one that we had in the pack has been withdrawn and a new renewal has been submitted. So I don't know. I'm not seeing the new renewal. I guess it's not in the packet, which inclines me to be wanting to wait till, I would think the board should actually vote on what they actually, what the real contract is and such.
Okay.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board members like to respond to anything?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Ms. Zelnok.
So I would take the opportunity to thank our outgoing board members, Ms. Bellinger, Ms. Chalkley, and Mr. Dockett for their service. And appreciate it. It's not always as easy as it looks. I'd also like to congratulate and welcome our new board members, Ken Dignan, Joshua Nelson, and Nate Moko to the board, and look forward to our next 4 years together. My comment on for the Horseshoe Lake is I am all for putting it in the preserve, because the intent when the township bought that was to keep it to protect the lake for wetlands, for aquifers, and help with the flooding. I am disappointed, though, that a year later, we're still where we are, meaning that we asked the township manager as well as the supervisor to talk to the Horseshoe Lake Corporation and to bring it back after talking to them. And as far as I can see, it was kind of the last minute. And at this point, because of that, I'm undecided how I will vote, but I do support doing the preserve and keeping it so that it does help with the flooding and all the other items that I mentioned. As far as I did not see the email about the new contract for AT&T, so I also am inclined to postpone that until we actually have an opportunity to look at that. Thank you.
You forgot to say welcome to the new supervisor.
You did.
I did. I said welcome to the new board members, Ken Dignan, Joshua Nelson, and Nate Moko.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed the Ken Nelson. I missed the Mr. Dignan. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, he was on my first on my list, being that he is going to be the supervisor.
Okay, I saw Miss Chick's hand next.
Yeah, since we're doing this at this time, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge Marlene Shockley, Wayne Dockett, and Tom Bellinger for their service to our community as elected officials on this board. It might seem to some that being on the board is a 2-night-a-month job. It's not. These 3 elected officials have devoted hours, days, weeks, and sometimes months to a single issue, and all in the interest of doing what they feel was best for our township. It takes a lot of time, care, and devotion to a community to put oneself out there in the service of the people, knowing that whatever decision they make, they may not make everybody happy. Marlene, Wayne, and Ton have performed their duties to the best of their ability, making decisions they felt were right in their hearts based on their research and knowledge of an issue. I want to thank Supervisor Marlene Shockley for her dedication to Northfield. Marlene has worked tirelessly for the people for 4 years as supervisor, and that after 6 years on the Planning Commission, as well as volunteering for many township activities. Wayne Dockett for 12 years as a trustee as well, and decades of serving the township as a businessman. And then Tom Bellinger for 4 years as trustee and a volunteer. I wish you all well in your next endeavors. And again, thank you for your service and all the accomplishments the township has benefited from through your efforts. And I would also like to welcome Ken Dignan as supervisor, Nate Moko and Joshua Nelson to the board. Looking forward to a good 4 years with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Otto.
Yes, I wanted to reiterate the same sentiments. I'm not going to go into as large or long detail, but I did want to thank Marlene, Ton, and Wayne. I did want to also acknowledge that Wayne has been on the board for 12 years, dedicated a long time to the township. I've learned a lot from Wayne, and I appreciate what Marlene and Ton have brought to our board. I wish you all the best in your next journey. And I also wanted to welcome Ken Dignan, Joshua Nelson, and Nate Mocho to the board. And looking forward to the next 4 years of moving our township forward.
Thank you. Ms. Manley, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I guess I'll go along with everyone else's sentiment. I think Janet put it very well. Thank you for that. Speak for the board. Again, Marlene, Ton, Wayne, for your dedication, your loyalty to the township. It's been wonderful. And hopefully you'll still be around and still good resources for us. Wayne has vast knowledge of the township, and I love the stories and the backgrounds. And Ton and Marlene, your knowledge is also, priceless. And then welcome to Ken and Nate and Josh, and it's going to be a fun 4 years. Thanks.
Ms. Bellinger?
I just quickly thank the board members for the kind words, and Janet, it was a very, very well written and given statement. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Kathy, and Jackie as well.
Welcome.
Okay. And I would like to say thank you all too. It's, I'll be sad. I mean, I am sad that I'm leaving. But anyway, I'll say something else at the end, but thank you all. And I look forward to, you know, taking some time with the new board members and passing along what I know. I know they'll have things that they would like to take care of, but I would like to pass along what I know. So maybe the new people don't start from zero. And I have a lot of contacts and a lot of information that would be helpful. And so I'd be really happy to sit down, and I plan to sit down with Mr. Dignan and Mr. How do you pronounce that?
Moko.
Muko and Mr. Nelson. So thank you all so much. Okay, moving on. I'd like to make a motion to adopt the consent agenda as distributed.
I'll support.
Motion by Chalkley, support by Otto. Do we have anything that needs pulling out from the consent agenda?
I just have a question.
Okay, Ms. Bellinger.
Question on a fire report.
Okay.
Was the November 8th house training, the training burn happen? November 8th?
Yes.
It did, okay.
Other questions for?
I did have one other related to the fire department. Let's see if I got it here. The explosion, was that also related to the fireworks issue? There was that the same date, that house explosion? Was that the fireworks thing as well?
Are you speaking of the part of the police report that spoke to
Yes.
that? Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you, just curious, thank you.
Mhm.
I could make a mention, though. I do want to thank, was it Smith that did all the work at Precinct 2?
Yeah.
No, that was Officer Howe.
Officer Howe, okay, Officer Howe, outstanding. Looks really good out there in Precinct 2, nice job.
Oh, you mean the building? Yeah, that was Lieutenant Smith of the fire department.
Right.
Yeah, he's done the majority, but there's a few other people that have helped in. But Lieutenant Smith,
Outstanding out there,
CP, has
fantastic.
done a very nice job. Yes.
Nice. Ms. Otto.
Two things. I wanted to tell Bill thank you for having the police stationed at both the polls. That was very nice. I had an opportunity to speak to those that were stationed there. It was good to catch up with them and just to have a conversation with them. Don't have it often. And at least it's in a good way of having a conversation with them. The one thing I wanted to find out too was on the sale of the bonds. Did we ever receive the money on that yet?
Mr. Ains, go ahead and answer that question.
That money is supposed to be coming next week.
Okay.
On the 18th. And we had to sign a number of things, and today Ms. Chalkley, Ms. Manley, and Ms. Zelnick all signed some of the documents that were needed. So that's all getting sent back to the bond advisors. When it comes next week, they'll deposit the money in the township's account before they turn the bonds over to the buyer.
Okay. And then I wanted to make note on 75 Barker. You made a comment in your report, Steve, that we've had a number of people go through the building, and that you asked to have it on the next agenda for December or November.
Yes, I wanted to just introduce the new people on the board to some of the issues that we're looking at. And probably the December meeting asked that the board give us direction as to whether you want to relist the property. If you do, in what manner. If you want to reserve the parking, if you want to sell it as is. If you even want a real estate agent involved. The real estate agent can still bring people to us, and they can put in writing their offer, and on those particular cases, my understanding is they could get a commission. But anybody else that just came to us, we wouldn't be paying a commission to.
Oh, Ms. Chick.
So Jackie covered basically my question on the manager report about 75 Barker, but with all the people that have come through, has anybody actually made an offer?
Now, at this point, I had told them that with the new board coming on board and it being such a short time, that by the time I got an offer from them, brought it back to the existing board, it would knock it into the next board meeting. So there's strong interest there, and I provided backup information to the different parties, such as the architect's report when he evaluated what was wrong and what needed to be done and so forth.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions on the reports?
Yes, I have one.
Go ahead, Mr. Dockett.
What is happening with the environmental test with 75 Barker? What have we done about that?
Okay, I can speak to that.
Excuse me?
I can speak to that, Mr. Dockett.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we have the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority provided a grant for Mr. Munger to have the Phase 2 done. And after Mr. Munger backed out of the deal, we are working with our attorney to get that environmental assessment reassigned to the township so that we can use it as a selling point and it can be passed on to a new owner. So right now, we're just working through all the legal aspects of getting that signed over to the township. The township would pay for that because Mr. Munger did not. The township would pay for the environmental assessment, the Phase 2, and then we would submit it to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority and they would reimburse us. Then the township would have that document as a legal document to provide to the next owner, and we would also have it. So, and it won't cost us anything. We were able to get the grant that covers the entire cost of that from the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. So it'll be a simple thing. Once all the paperwork gets approved by the attorney, it'll come back to the next board and they'll be able to take care of that legally.
But we've had it listed as is.
Yes.
So I don't know why we have to keep our fingers, and as is means you take it as is. We voted on it to sell it and to list it as is. So I'm disappointed about that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's correct, Mr. Dockett. It's not like we're doing any remediation. We just have a report that allows the next buyer to be aware. Okay, Ms. Chick?
Yeah, on Tammy Averil's report, do we know that we've had some really nice weather? Is the parking lot done, or when will the parking lot be done?
We're expecting that to be completed this week.
Yay.
They're supposed to start putting in the pavers and the rest of the gravel this week. So I would think by the end of next week, it will be all done.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Okay, seeing no other questions. So I made a motion to accept the consent agenda as distributed, and Ms. seconded it. Let's have a roll call vote, please, Ms. Manley.
Shockley?
Yes.
Bellinger?
Yes.
Chick? Yes. Dockett?
Yes.
Zelenak?
Yes.
Otto?
Yes.
Manley? Yes. So 7-0.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Lemble has her hand up, and I don't know if she has a concern about taking the minutes, so I'm going to allow her to speak. Ms. Lemble, do you have an issue?
Sorry, I didn't mean to raise my hand.
Oh, you didn't. Okay, I will put it down. Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on. Well, before I make a motion to approve the balance of the agenda, do we need to pull that Metro Act out? Mr. Ains?
My understanding was that the only thing that happened was the attorney asked the AT&T to put a date that was closer to the board meeting. So there wasn't any time of, that somehow we were behind in the process. But I can call him if you'd like and confirm that.
Okay, find out if it's okay to pass that tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll step out.
Otherwise we will pull it off when we get to it. Okay.
Our attorney did respond in an email to us earlier. Did everybody see that?
I did see it, but we didn't see the document is the problem for some people. Yeah, he said that he had reviewed the Metro Act extension, and the Metro Act renewal in the packet has been withdrawn and a new renewal request submitted to ensure that we are in compliance with statutory deadlines.
Right.
And, oh, I know what he means then. Okay.
Can we talk about this when we get to it?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can. We can talk about it when we get to it. I get it. Okay. So I will make a motion to approve the balance of the agenda as distributed.
I'll support.
Motion by Chalkley, support by Otto. Any discussion? Okay. Seeing nobody. Okay, we will take a roll call on that then, Ms. Manley.
Docket,
Yes.
Zelenak,
Yes.
Otto,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Shockley,
Yes.
Manley, yes. Bellinger,
Yes.
okay, 7-0.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the first item on the agenda is the special meeting of October 22nd. Anyone want to submit any changes? Okay, I did see one word wrong. And I know you don't like to go through this at a meeting, but anyway. The wrong word is there was discussion about whether members of the public were able to rejoin the teleconference. And this is on the right-hand column under the motion, under the action as a result of the closed session. So let's just change that to discussion. So then I would like to make a motion to adopt the special meeting minutes as amended.
Support.
Motion by Chalkley, support by Bellinger. Any more discussion on that? Okay, roll call, please.
Manley, yes. Chick,
Yes.
Otto,
Yes.
Zelenak,
Yes.
Docket,
Yes.
Shockley,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
7-0.
Okay, thank you. That passes 7-0. And now I would like to interject here because there was a motion, a suggestion that we ratify the motion made to authorize the attorneys to proceed as discussed. So you'll see that under, there was some concern about it being a special meeting and the public being able to listen to that. So
Did you make a motion?
I'm going to make a motion that we to ratify. Okay, I'm making a motion to ratify the motion to authorize the attorneys to proceed as discussed in the closed session.
Support.
Okay, motion by Chalkley, I'll support by Chick, I guess, yes.
Yeah.
And Bellinger.
Any discussion, Ms. Otto?
Can we amend it to a specific date?
Authorize the attorney to proceed as discussed in the, October 22nd special meeting?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yes.
Support that. Yes.
That would be appropriate. Special meeting, okay. So the motion by Chalkley, support by Chick, and roll call, please.
Discussion, yes.
Oh, more discussion. I didn't see. Sorry. Go ahead, Ms.
I
Zelnok.
don't recall. So where are we on the agenda?
We are on the number 1, approve the October 22nd Board of Trustees special meeting minutes.
Okay.
And
And so did we approve them?
yes, we did.
Okay. And then after that, we made a motion to act on the information at the special meeting.
To ratify the action.
You're
Okay.
Right.
And help me out again. Why did we do that?
Because it says under action as a result of closed session. So if you look at October 22nd,
Mhm.
the last sentence in that paragraph there says, Fuchs said, if there's any question about the validity of the motion,
Right.
it could be ratified at the next board meeting.
Okay.
And Zelnok asked that be done. So,
Okay. I guess I would have expected it to be an agenda item.
oh, well, I didn't notice it last Thursday.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. I
Okay.
just wanted some clarification on all that. Thank you.
Okay. Any more discussion?
No, I don't understand. Are we still on the special meeting that we already voted on, or are we on to the next one?
We're in between, Mr. Dockett. I just made a motion to ratify what we did at the special meeting on October 22nd. And now we're going to vote on that.
Which is different than voting on the minutes.
Correct.
I don't see that on the agenda.
It's not, Mr. Dockett. Okay,
What is this? We just add things on whenever
well,
we. I
the
mean,
last meeting, Ms. Bellinger and you added something on that wasn't on the agenda. It happens. Okay. Roll
what did I add on?
You gotta get a second if you want to add something in. Okay, it's a roll call vote now, Mr. Dockett.
Are we good?
I'm good.
All right. Otto,
Yes.
Dockett,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Zelenak,
Yes.
Manley, yes. Chockley,
Yes,
7-0.
7-0. Thank you very much. Okay. The next item is the October 27th minutes. And does anybody else besides me have corrections?
I have something to say.
Okay, go ahead.
I was hoping that I'm reading the minutes, and I had a technical problem. I stayed with the meeting until 11:30 or whatever time it was when it got over with. And it says on all these docket not voting.
Right.
Well, I didn't vote. I didn't vote because I couldn't. Something happened technically, but I stayed with the meeting, and I don't think that explains much about what happened. I wished it would say something about there's a technical difficulty or something other than just docket not voting, docket not voting, docket not voting.
Okay, Mr. Dockett, it actually does say that. If you look on page 4, at the bottom of the left column, it says, Dockett unable to participate in the remainder of the meeting due to technical difficulties.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so I do have some corrections. And thankfully, they don't start until page, under number 10. It says, on page 4, number 10, it says Chalkley moved, and then there's nobody seconded, but I actually looked it up, and Chick seconded to permanently promote Martin Smith to the position of lieutenant. So that was missing. And then, under the DTE contract for lighting on the next column, Chalkley said the annual estimated cost is $1,645.20 for electricity, and $1,742, $42.40 for maintenance, but that's not for maintenance. It's to finance the poles, actually. So hopefully we could just switch that out. Instead of maintenance, it would be to finance the poles. Okay, and I'll be happy with whatever, with the rest of it, so. Does anyone else have any changes?
Nope, that's the same one.
It's good? Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to adopt the minutes of October 27th as amended.
Support.
Okay, motion by Chalkley, support by Bellinger. Any more discussion? Seeing no one, roll call, please.
Manley, yes. Chick,
Yes.
Docket,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Shockley,
Yes.
Otto,
Yes.
Zelenak,
Yes.
7-0.
7-0. Ms. Bellinger has her hand up.
Yeah, while we're on the subject of minutes, I would like to have something included in this board meeting's minutes, the board, right now. It's regarding the amended minutes from the September 22nd meeting of 2020, where the meeting has some omissions. So for the purpose of clarity, I would like to have placed the following on the record for inclusion for this meeting's minutes. And what I would like to have placed on there is the following, and I can email this to Ms. Lembo as well. Bellinger disclosed at the regular board meeting of September 22nd, 2020, that she did not solicit, nor did she accept any contributions, gifts, endorsements, or other influence from marijuana interests. In response, quote, Otto, Zelenak, Chick, and Manley said they did not meet with or accept campaign donations from any of the applicants, end quote. And I would like to have that, please, placed in these minutes. Now, the part that was quoted was actually quoted from the amended minutes, where it says, begins with the names of the board members. But I'd please like to have that for the record, just to clarify what was being discussed and what they're talking about on September 22nd, please. I have a copy of those minutes if anybody would like me to read that, or if it matters to them or not. But that's what, for the record, please place that on these minutes.
Can we place that
Clarification.
board member comments time?
I beg your pardon?
Can we place that at the board member comments time?
You can place it anywhere as long as it's on the record, on the minutes. I would like it placed here while we're talking about minutes. I think that would be good. Just want it on the record, because looking at the amended minutes from the 22nd, it kind of leaves, it really doesn't have any context. It doesn't make sense why that, it doesn't have enough clarity. Thank you.
Okay, what do y'all think? Should that just be a comment added?
I think it should just be a comment added, because we don't have the minutes in front of us.
Right, okay.
I request to have it be a part of the minutes for the next board meeting.
Okay, Ms. Lembo, go ahead and put that some appropriate place near where we are talking about it right now. Okay. Now we are on open bills. I'd like to make a motion to approve payment of open bills with the expected check run date of not 11/11, it's going to have to be 11/12, because 11/11 is the holiday.
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day. For a total of $139,996.37 from all funds in the municipal investment fund account.
I'll support.
Motion by Chalkley, support by Chick. Any discussion on any of these items? Ms. Bellinger.
Is it a typo on the first page for election day food? It doesn't seem like that's quite enough for $10.67.
I don't see it, but,
Very first page, second thing on the right.
oh, $10.87.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was water.
I I'd have to go back and look and see what that receipt was for. So that's probably not everything.
No.
I would hope not.
Definitely not.
Okay. Any other items here of concern? Okay. Are you okay with this, Mr. Dockett?
Yes.
Okay. Let's have a roll call, please.
Maybe I take myself off mute. Docket. All right, Otto,
Yes.
Zelenak,
Yes.
Docket,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Manley, yes, Chalkley,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
7-0.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. In the interest of letting somebody else make a motion,
Keep going. Your last stance.
just keep going. Okay. I would like to make a motion to hire Kenneth Grant as a paid on-call firefighter trainee at the rate of $11 per hour to start.
Support.
Okay. Motion by Chalkley, support by Bellinger. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Okay. Miss Otto first and then you, Mr. Dockett.
Thank you.
Was there anything that we had to, any disclaimer that we had to put into it? Okay, never mind.
Well, it will
The physical or something?
depend on a physical and a background check.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we add that to the motion then?
Okay, we
Thank you.
can. Sure. So the motion is to hire Kenneth Grant as a paid on-call firefighter trainee at this $11 per hour to start, contingent on passing a physical and background check.
Correct.
Thank you.
So the motion was by Chalkley. I don't know who seconded.
Bellinger.
Bellinger, okay. Any more discussion?
Docket had something.
Oh, yes, Mr. Dockett, go ahead.
I would like to ask the chief, I see in your report, or else I seen it in the bills, I seen it somewhere where we have to pay quite a bit of money for these guys to go through the physical and go through the background check. How much was that, Chief? I forgot.
I think a physical is about $175, and there is no cost for a background check. We can do that internally.
Okay, what did you say, 175?
Yeah, I believe the physical's around $175.
Oh, okay, and then the background check, there's nothing, okay.
Correct.
Yeah,
We can do that internally.
yeah, I mean, I know there's quite a turnover, I'm not complaining about that, but, you know, maybe that 175 should be in your report, in this, you know, rather than just have it in your report. I'd like to see it, so we know every time we hire one of these people, it's costing us, you know, extra couple $100. Thank you.
Roll call, please, unless we have any more questions. Roll call, please.
Chalkley,
Yes.
Manley, yes. Bellinger,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Docket,
Yes.
Zelenak,
Yes.
Otto,
Yes.
7-0.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. If I could, Madam Supervisor, I'd real quickly like to say thank you to you, Madam Supervisor, for the last 4 years, and Trustee Bellinger and Mr. Dockett for the last 12 years. I really appreciate your support in the Police and Fire Department. And I welcome Mr. Dignan, Mr. Mukau, and Mr. Nelson. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Okay, I'd like to
Thank you,
make.
Chief.
The next item on the agenda is the conditional use
I move to approve the conditional use for outdoor storage of materials in the manner noted on the site plan approved by Planning Commission on October 21st, 2020, finding that the conditional use approval standards of section 36-838 have been met by the applicant, and Planning Commission has held a public hearing and recommended approval to the Board of Trustees.
I'll support.
Motion by Bellinger, support by Otto. Any discussion on this item? Seeing no hands. Okay. Roll call, please.
Docket. No, I'm not going to start with him. Bellinger,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Zelenak,
Yes.
Docket,
Yes.
Otto,
Yes.
Chockley,
Yes.
Manley, yes.
Awesome. Welcome, terra firma. Okay. The next item on the agenda is the Metro Act right-of-way permit extension. And Mr. Ains, go ahead and tell us what Mr. Fink had to say about this.
Okay, I did call him, as we mentioned. He asked me to take just a minute and he would go and look at the document again. And then he texted me saying that it is exactly the same as what you have in the packet other than the date. And that was at, I think, the township's request so that we didn't miss any deadlines and somehow get penalized in that process. He did point out that this is a source of revenue to the township that we don't have to collect. It's just automatically paid to us by the state. And then he also mentioned that if you were concerned, you could approve it subject to review and approval of the township attorney.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I would just like to mention that the letter here says they would like signed copies within 30 days of receiving the request. And they sent this to us August 13th. So somehow it got into the queue of who knows what. And it seemed to have been coming to us from the Planning Commission. Is that true? From Paul Lippens? No? Okay, but anyway, it finally got to us, and so I guess we've just asked for some correction of the date. So, does anyone have any questions about the Metro Act? Ms. Chick?
So what, do we have the new dates?
I do not have the new dates. Mr. Ains, which date did did Mr. Fink request to be put on this?
I don't know. I didn't ask him that because I thought you already had it. So let me text him back or call him.
Okay.
You could table it or move to another item.
Yep.
Okay, excuse me.
Okay. This is not the first time we've done these extensions. You know,
Right.
it's a pretty standard thing. Yeah, we can wait a minute. And
Why don't you pass it due for the okay of the attorney with,
yeah,
just like you were gonna do in the first place?
we could do that. Ms. Otto has a question.
And that's what I was going to recommend, is that you pass with the date as per the attorney.
Okay.
I also wanted to clarify that us signing this act right away has nothing to do with 5G. This is just for them to use to go through our township. That's all that this is about. It's more of a requirement from the state for AT&T, not a requirement of us.
Ms. Bellinger?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if maybe the attorney could let us know exactly what does this permit fully. What does this permit AT&T to do, I guess? I mean, that
It's
perhaps
public right away. It's for
maybe
them
some
to be.
clarifications on that. I mean, you know, if they can put anything in the public right of way, then that means they could put 5G or cell towers or cables or who knows what. And it'd be nice to clarify what is it that this permits them to do with a public right of way.
This is
Might be good to
exactly,
get that clarification.
yeah, this is exactly so they can run the fiber and stuff to the cell towers so that we can actually have cell towers.
They, that it should be effective. Certainly.
I guess that's Mr. Ains talking, sorry. So anyway,
Go ahead and make a
Well,
motion.
I will make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that the township extend the
In
Metro
front of
Act
me,
permit with
it wasn't in the
AT&T,
packet.
finding that the agreement offers fair coordinating benefits related to work within the right-of-way and is further supported by a varying annual payment to the township of approximately $10,000. And to authorize the township manager to execute the agreement subject to the approval of the terms of the contract by the township attorney, including the date on the letter.
I'll support.
Okay, motion by Chalkley, support by Chick. Any more discussion on this item?
So do we know how come it got lost?
I don't know. I thought it came, we somehow got it from Mr. Lippens.
Well, I mean, again, the date says August 13th and it's now almost November 13th.
I think it might have gotten routed incorrectly or something in the township.
How is that possible?
I don't know. That it's not, wouldn't be the first time, but I swear it came through from Mr. Lippens.
Because it came to our PO Box 56. I mean, at least that's what the letter says.
Yeah.
Steve has something to say?
Yes, I've got Mr. Fink on the line. It's the same ending date, but the change was to make it May 31st of 220, and then it ends on May 31st of 225. So it's a 5-year agreement.
So does Mr. Frank know if this permits them to do any kind of infrastructure they desire on the public right of way without board approval or board awareness?
Did you hear that, Jim? Okay, she's saying, does that allow them to do anything they want on the right of way without board approval?
Doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to mention that this did come from Paul Lippens, by the way.
Okay.
I got an email that says packet item for November 10th, the Metro Act extension, and there are 4 documents here attached, and it originated from Mr. Lippens. So how it got to him,
Saying, how did he get it, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe Mr. Lippens is not on anymore. We just passed the conditional use, so.
Well, Steve has a reply.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Ains.
Mr. Fink says that this is an extension of your existing agreement, so there's no change from what you had committed to before. But if you wanted him to look at it in detail, he would have to come back to the board. So either you could have him come back, or you could do it where it's subject to his approval, whichever way the board would like to do.
You already said that, right?
Yeah, my concern is I don't want the township to lose its control over its public rights of way.
I'd like to say something.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Dockett.
I'm happy with it. I'm content where it says the right of way. So it's going in wherever there's a public right of way. It's not taking anything away from anybody. And it's pretty standard. That's my opinion.
Right.
Thank you.
I would like to mention that it originally went to Mr. Ains and Miss Manley on August 17th from Paul Lippens. And it was a copy to Ms. Bird and Mr. Fink on this Metro Act extension. It's probably associated with some work that was being done in the right-of-way to get to a cell tower. So, because I recall those kind of things happening when I was on the planning commission. So, if Ms. Chick doesn't recall anything like this on a planning commission agenda, then I I don't exactly know how Mr. Lippens got a hold of it, but
I don't recall anything, but maybe it did, but I can't think of anything in the last 3 months that was on our agenda. Yeah.
right. So anyway, this is not unusual, and it's just a formality that we would extend. Okay, so if we're done with that,
Call the question.
questions, yes. Roll call, please.
Check. Yes.
Melinak,
Yes.
Otto,
Yes.
Docket,
Yes.
Manley, yes. Bellinger,
No.
Shockley,
Yes,
6-1.
6-1, thank you. Okay, the next item is the community center parking lot lighting. And I was hoping that
I'll tell them that whenever they decide that
Mr. Ains,
Can you mute him?
I can mute him myself. Okay, I just did. I just muted him. Okay,
Is that a question, Marlene?
yes.
On this number 7 here, is there an option that we could choose to vote on that we would actually purchase outright? Them going ahead and putting the lights up, and then we pay their monthly electric bill only?
Yes, that's option number 2.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Yes. So option number 1 is where, no, sorry, that was option number 1, for us to pay the upfront costs. So if the township wanted to pay the upfront costs, this is probably about, well, if you look at the contract, it's $5,000 less than what it costs them to actually put the lights in. So it will cost them $22,010 to put the lights in for us. And then and we can pay for that upfront. Then we would have what is considered post-charge. That post-charge is actually a finance charge. It's like the construction, the $22,000 is then financed by DTE over 20 years. So that's where the post-charge comes from when you read the information. So we can pay $22,10 upfront and then not pay any post-charge. It would only be the $1,645 a year for the electricity. Or we can finance it, and then we are paying a post-charge every year amounting to $1,742 per year, plus the electricity. So those were the 2 options. And what it gets us, what paying for the electricity gets us from DTE is the maintenance on those lights. If they go out, if they get hit by a car, I mean, they're in a parking lot for, they get bumped. If a tree falls on them, if we have underground wiring issues, that's all taken care of by DTE. We don't have to worry about, having our own people there or trying to find someone to come and fix it, which could actually cost potentially a lot more than that. So, so that's what the electricity charge is for. It also allows us to budget. And I would like to mention that the township has probably 120 different streetlights in the township that we already pay for. We pay about $2,600 a month for the operation of those streetlights already.
If we make a motion to try option number 1?
So that we pay the $22,010?
Yeah, pay to have them built, put in there, then we pay to have the lights turned on every month. Yeah.
Okay, look, I know Miss Otto had her hand up, though. I'd like to answer her question if, Miss Otto?
Yeah, so what I wanted to know for option 2 is that after the 10 years is up.
Right.
20 years.
No,
Or
it's 10 on the contract, yeah.
It's 10 on the
And
contract.
then it's month to month after that.
And then it's month to month after that. After the 10 years, are we only paying on the electricity month to month? Or
No.
are we paying that $282 month to month for perpetuity?
The $282 includes the post charge. Yes, we continue to pay that. And so it might be advantageous to go ahead and pay the upfront costs if we expect to have these lights beyond 10 years. And that wouldn't be a bad way to do it, provided there's funds available. So my recommendation is either option 1 or option 2, and I don't really, it's whatever the board would prefer.
So my concern I would just say over option 2 is you haven't amortized, say we keep the building for another 20 years, you haven't amortized how much it would have really cost us to have those lights for 20 years paying on the 282.
Yeah.
It may cost us more than if we did option 1.
Right. And it would.
Okay.
One thing that the Public Service Commission is talking about right now, and they haven't actually approved it yet, is sunsetting those post charges. So that, once it's all paid for from the financing point of view, then the post charge would go away and it would only be the electricity. But they haven't approved that yet. So we can't count on that. So I am totally open to whatever emotion anybody wants to make on this. And
I can start, I guess.
Okay.
I move that the township approve approve to hire DTE to install the 6 parking lot lights at the community center, address 9101 Main Street, for $22,010. That's the cost of installation up front.
Mm-hmm.
And to continue with the monthly electric charges thereafter, and authorize the township manager to sign the agreement after attorney review.
And your
monthly charges?
Option 1?
Option 1, yes.
And the monthly charges are $1,645.
No, that's the yearly charge.
Yearly, yeah.
So it's the yearly charge of $1,645.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Ongoing forever.
It's an estimated electricity cost.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
I'll support.
Okay, so that was a motion by Bellinger. So this is the alternatively on the second page here that she has just made. Okay, so Ms. Bellinger motioned and Ms. Otto supported. Okay, do we have any more discussion?
So the other option is the contractor does it, and it's $31,000, and it's $189 annually versus $1,645 annually.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
And annually is for like ever, correct?
Well, we could turn off the lights.
These are
Well,
estimated too.
We can't really
Yeah, I
turn
know.
off the lights. We need to have lights in our parking lot, so.
Well, do they turn off at midnight?
They're on for 4,200 hours a year. That's what
Yep.
that's what they use to charge.
And the 6 lights are for the new site, the new parking lot, correct?
No, 4 are for the new and 2 are for the old.
So I think we have project scope creep. I don't know why we're talking about ongoing maintenance for 2. And the other thing is, in the minutes, you were going to give us a running total. So I think we're up about 60,000 over budget. And you and I had a conversation and you said it was just as costly to put lights on the building.
It is.
You also said that we could not, I find that hard to believe talking to 2 contractors, but okay.
Mhm.
And that we cannot use the current lights or the current DTE poles because you indicated that will not give us enough illumination. Correct?
I'm not an engineer, and this is what was recommended by the engineers.
Yep. So currently on People's Express, we use the DTE poles, and for 3 usage, it costs us $100 a month. to light the PEX parking lot.
Mhm.
So-
That's also not in a residential, next to a residential area either. So I think,
So it's no different than the streetlights that are all the other poles down there in a residential area, but okay.
Okay.
So no, I will not be voting for this. I think we have scope creep. I think we need to investigate all other alternatives, such as using the lights and putting lights on it to illuminate it, and potentially putting in one at the back.
Mhm.
I'd like to see the cost for putting it on the building. I went down and rode around over the weekend, and I'd say 95% of the buildings have lights to illuminate their parking lots. And I find it hard to believe that it's going to be, you know, as costly as $38,462 with an ongoing maintenance of $1,645. And again, there's been a lot of scope creep. We have $17,000 over the parking lot, almost $40,000 for the lighting, $3,500 for tree, $8,400 for the flooring. So I think we're probably at about, I don't know, $66,000 over budget. And every time we're over budget, it takes opportunity costs from somewhere else. So bad project planning. So I cannot support it. I support the community center. I just want to look at a more efficient cost on the lighting.
okay.
And I do not think the 2 additional lightings should be part of this. That is to me, a different project.
The 2 additional lightings in the,
Yeah, you said that 4 are for this site and 2 are for the existing one.
right.
So
We have 2 semi-functional lights in the old parking lot
I just think it should be a project on its own,
falling over. Okay,
a project on its own.
okay.
So,
And it was $29,900 to actually get the lights to be on the pole in the bid package. So that was the quote that we got in the bid package. So I was looking for a way to get this done at a lesser cost.
We have a
And
question from Otto.
Miss Otto,
So that's what I wanted to know. We do have a contractor option.
mhm.
Is the contractor, and did we bid it out?
It went out in the bid package to the 4 companies that bid on doing the parking lot. And because the bids came back so high, we pulled the lighting out to see if we could do it at a lesser cost. And the lesser cost was going to be financed through DTE.
that's
Okay,
not, the numbers are showing us, correct?
the numbers aren't showing it, that it's at a lesser cost. So, so the one that you have here, is that the current contractor that we have today?
Yes,
Okay. So we could go back to them and say, we would want to have option 3 potentially, right?
I don't know at this point. It's been pulled out.
Okay.
There were issues associated with it because it was a federal project and we had prevailing wage laws. And at this
Okay.
point, it's very difficult to,
So the chances of us doing that will be null. So is this my last question is this a requirement of the grant that the lighting be completed with the parking lot?
it's the requirement of our zoning
Okay.
administrator. We really have to have lighting in our parking lot, but we're the township. We can just violate all of our rules. I mean, that
No,
happened.
we should not.
But we should not do that.
Can I
And
call the question maybe?
I'm ready to vote.
I think.
I would like to have something to say here.
Ms.
I
Chicken,
haven't had my turn.
yeah, but, all right, we'll let Mr. Dockett, then we'll go back to Ms. Chick. Mr. Dockett, go ahead.
Okay, I would like to know what the bid was on it when it went out to bid. How much was it? I mean, what I'd like to have that figure. What was in the bid, and then what is it for DTE? I mean, we have that figure.
Yep, it was $29,900.
49,000.
$29,000. $900.
Excuse me, I can't understand on the phone very good. Give me the number one more time, please.
$29,900.
Okay. That's what it was when it went out for bid.
Right,
That's on page
Okay.
1, on the right-hand side,
yeah. Page
Okay.
1, right-hand side.
in the columns.
And DTE is what? Looks to me like it's more.
22,000.
Mm-hmm.
I had three. I had the poles on, but I just had 3 beautiful lights put up for $300 a piece. Thank you.
You must have known somebody, Mr. Dockett.
Well, maybe we should get him to do it.
Yeah, I'm a no vote on this one. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. But I do want to stress that DTE will maintain the poles. If there's damage.
Yeah, but it's only for 5 years or the 10 years. Then it's by the month. And if something happens after that, they probably just bill. I don't know this.
No, they cover it all.
They're not gonna maintain them forever.
Ms. Chick? Unmute
You're
yourself.
muted.
Go ahead, Ms. Chick.
You're
Ms. Chick?
muted.
No, she's not muted. She's, turn up your sound on your computer. We can't hear you. Oh, she says, never mind. Okay.
Well, I'd just like to say, I think we're discounting that we have 2 DTE poles already installed there right now that we could most likely use to put up lights at probably a fraction of this cost, and they're already there. So I just don't see why that was not thoroughly explored in all the pros and cons provided. Like I said, we did it for PEX.
Well,
So you're
vote it
telling me,
down. Just
I
vote it
am.
down.
I am.
Okay.
Too costly.
Call the question, please.
Actually, I have the floor. I can be the one that calls the question.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
But I think it is too costly, and I don't think all the options were explored and presented to the board. We're about $70,000 over our budget on this entire grant project. Unacceptable. Okay, call the question.
Call the question, please.
Otto,
Yes.
Shockley,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Zelenak,
No.
Manley, yes. Dockett,
No,
is that 4-3?
I thought it was
5-2.
5-2.
Sorry.
5-2.
Thank you. The community is going to like this. I'm certain of it. Okay, thank you very much. All right, next item, and I've got,
I can make a motion to approve resolution 20-634.
yep,
To authorize the Office of the Water Resources Commission to exceed the statutory spending limit of $15,000 per year for the purpose of the repair of the horseshoe outlet drain in the exceeded amount of $33,500, with the township portion to be $10,050.
I'll support.
motion by Chick.
Bellinger.
Motion by Bellinger, support by Chick. Bellinger, Chick. Okay. Do we have any discussion on this item? I know Mr. Pratt is somehow available if we have any questions of we have questions of our Water Resources Commissioner.
Sure, you can have them. So what are we getting for the which items are we doing for the 33,250? The township share.
Where are you?
I'm on the first page.
First page. A lot of it has already been done. Mr. Pratt's here, just hang on.
Because obviously this will, I mean, that's my question. Is it already the amount I've already submitted on the tax bills for December?
Okay, hang on. I'm trying to get Mr. Pratt on.
So I guess I'm just I am confused on the dollar amount as far as 219. Is it 220? Is it a combination of both? I thought we already approved the Horseshoe Lake outlet that I see coming on the taxes. Is this
Right.
more work being done there?
Yes, this is additional work. Some portion of the outlet drain was worked on between Jennings Road up toward that house that sits in the back there, along with that Brookside Drive and that little 2-track. There was a lot of work done there, but that was only a portion of it. And they would like to go all the way up to 8 Mile and clear that all out before the spring rains to help with the water.
So I guess looking at, 2019, 2020, the 2-year total. So what is it that we are approving, and which work projects are we approving?
Well, we are approving on this one, we're approving the Horseshoe Lake outlet drain.
Yeah.
And the other stuff is drain work that is done throughout the township based on need. So it's a maintenance kind of a thing where they go and mow alongside, and they clean out where it's needed. And then those are smaller amounts. They only come to us when they have a particular job that's going to, oh, here comes Mr. Pratt. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Mr. Pratt.
Hello.
Hello. This is our Water Resources Commissioner. Thank you for joining us tonight. So there's a question about the kind of work that's been done based on our maintenance plan that we approved in 2019 for that 1 year, and then how your office works to maintain the drains and what that costs us on it.
Actually, that's not really the question.
Well, and then what are we getting for the 33,250, right?
33
for the 2-year total.
Yeah. So we have something in our budget requirements, right? We have the 2019, and they have the 2020, and then we have the 2021 and 2025. So my question is, what dollar amounts are we actually approving? Looking at the budget requirements that we approved or talked about in October 18th, 2018.
Right. We're looking for approval for the remainder of that 2020 work. So today, the only item we're really looking for approval on is the additional work on the outlet drain from Horseshoe Lake. So what you've got there is a 2-year summary of what we predicted we were going to spend and what we were basically trying to keep, our promise to, for both the township as well as, all the other folks who pay, the property owners. So most of the work that was performed, Lenore, was just mostly removing debris from the drains and dead trees that are going to become debris from the drains. So the only, again, item we're seeking approval on today is the additional resolution to exceed the limit for the Horseshoe Lake outlet drain.
Okay, so if I go back into the budget requirements out of that, and the only reason I'm asking this is obviously it hits on the taxes.
Right.
And we are going to direct them, hopefully, to call you in your office, but we will be getting many calls on that. So I want to make sure I understand what is occurring, because we're doing the tax. So if I look at the 2019 budget requirements, you have the Horseshoe Lake outlet at 33,500. So is that what we're really approving then? Is that what I see in the Horseshoe outlet in excess amount of the 33,500? and the township portion would be the 10.5. Is that pretty much what we're approving then?
Not tonight. You
Okay.
had previously approved that,
Okay.
and that was not adequate to get all of the debris cleared
Okay.
from Horseshoe Lake all the way. So tonight, what's in front of you is starting at about 8 Mile Road and working back south. It's very brushy there as you start approaching 8 Mile Road. I have been out there myself. So, the goal is, as we all know, Horseshoe Lake has been an issue documented from 1925. And the goal is to have as little obstruction between point A and the edge of the township as possible. And we do need authorization tonight for the $20,000 of work, of which the township share would be $6,000. So but again, that's kind of included in the summary totals that we've provided you. So that's within your budget, Lenore. The only thing is, by statute, we need your permission to spend more.
Right. So I guess, is the motion correct then? It says water resource to exceed the statutory spending limit of $15,000 per year for the repair of the horseshoe drain in excess amount of the $33,500 with the township portion of $10,550. Is that correct? So next year, so on the tax bill, Evan, we have put in the horseshoe outlet drain, we put the McCarty drain, we put the Groves and the Horseshoe Lake and Coil and the Catholic Blurt and all that. That's all went in there, and some people are going to see a substantial increase on the Horseshoe Lake outlet, and it looks like the Groves and the Horseshoe Lake portion, depending on your property and depending on your acreage. So that has hit for this tax 2020 winter tax, right? And then, so we're doing a little extra than that. I can't make all the numbers tie. I'm sorry. Alrighty.
Mr. Pratt, so this won't be billed to the homeowners and the township until the next fiscal year, or is that coming on this fiscal year?
He's muted.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I lost my connection and it was muted when I came back. Would you like me to answer that question or move on to the next?
Did you get it? Will this be on this fiscal year or next fiscal year?
Right. So this would come on December 2021 tax bills. And the Horseshoe outlet drain has a district of over 2,100 parcels. So the average charge for $33,500, Lenore, you're correct that it's more for larger parcels, but it's about $12.73 on average per parcel.
Yeah.
Lakefront property owners called, and they're between $7 and $8 depending on the size of their parcel, because they're smaller parcels. Just so you know what more is, it's not a large amount of money.
Right, because I mean, I looked at some. It was a large piece of parcel, and it was probably like $50 more. So
if you have 80 acres, it's definitely going to be a bit more. You are correct.
Yep. Okay. So if I look at it, the drain, the 82 ties to the 82 from 2019, and then the 32,500 ties to what's in the proposed for the 2020. And
you're correct.
Okay. And then the 2019 is what hit the 2020 tax bills, and the 2020 is going to hit the 2021 tax bills.
Correct.
Got it. Alrighty. Thank you much.
Okay, thank you.
And I put your name in the tax bill, so call Evan Pratt, Water Resources, if you have questions on drains.
The best way is call Mallory. She works with many, many property owners, and they are very happy.
Okay.
She does a great job.
Well, I mean, we work with Mallory quite a bit, so.
Yep. She's got all the answers that are fingertips.
Maybe we'll change that.
You're welcome to call me, but I have to ask Mallory. Thank you.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Maybe we'll just have him call Mallory then, even though the letter came out from you. All right, good. Thank you.
You're correct.
Any more questions?
Thanks, Evan.
Yep.
Any more questions, or are we good to vote? Ms. Otto?
I am good on this item. I would just like Evan to stay after the vote on this one because I have one question for him.
Oh,
Sure.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. If we're good to go here,
I have a question.
okay, go ahead, Mr. Dockett.
Okay, when it says, I'd like to have an explanation on the total cost. Is that the money that comes, where does that money come from?
It's in our budget for drain work. Mr.
No, I'm talking about the 82,000.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the total cost. Well, who pays the total? I mean, where does that money come from, the 82,000?
Mr. Pratt, he needs
Yes,
an
yes, it's a different amount for each drain, but the other sources are the road agencies. Both the road commission and MDOT pay a share, as well as individual property owners, Mr. Dockett. Most of the assessments are fairly small, but the rest of that gets paid by property owners and the transportation agencies.
Yeah, that's right. But I would like to say, the last few, I have 2.5 acres on the drain. They haven't cleaned it in 40, I've owned it for 50 years. They have not cleaned it ever. Okay? So naturally, you're not going to have the 25,000. If you collected it from the people like you're supposed to do on the taxes every year, you would have all this money and to do this with. The people that are on the drain, they're the ones who are responsible to clean it. And it's all the drain districts are all set up years and years ago. So I want to know, why can't you just collect your money every year from the taxpayers like you're supposed to, and then you'd have all kinds of money to do everything on that creek. And the part that the manager, the township supervisor just talked about on the lane going back to that house where the pump station is, they cut down a lot of trees there that were nowhere near the drain. We, the township, signed a okay to the county because they asked us, they said they wanted to cut them down. They didn't say anything about charging us, about doing it. We signed, and you guys cut all them trees down back to your drain district, or excuse me, back to your pump station. And now you're charging us to clean that. And they weren't in the creek. They were on that property. So thank you.
Thank you. Roll call, I guess. We're ready for that.
Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
So I have one other question. So how does this relate, if at all, to the Wildwood sub? Is there any, are we exceeding anything on that, or did we already make the resolution for that at our last meeting?
We already did that resolution, and that is included in under 2020 where it says
Yep.
completed. And they were able to come in under budget on that.
Okay. And then, okay. All righty. Got it. And so where's the 33,000? Where do I see that number on your upfront schedule, Marlene, Miss Chalkley?
I got this from Scott Miller.
Okay, because the motion is going to say 33,500, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to say 10,050. Is that correct?
Yep.
So
Yes.
where do I see those numbers on that upfront schedule?
I don't see it.
Okay. Right.
Okay. Well, if this can help the homeowners in the Horseshoe Lake area from getting flooded and getting the creek dammed up and backing up the water, like I guess when the dock floated down the creek and dammed it up, I think it's worth it. And so anyway.
Are these numbers correct? I guess is basically what Lenore is asking.
Correct. That's what I'm asking. I don't see the numbers, so
This is what I got from Scott Miller.
I know, and so that I'm just not tying it out. That's been my trouble, is that if I look on the 2019, the Horseshoe Lake Outdrain Phase 1 need resolution is 33,500, with the township paying the 10,050.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice, and that's going. And my understanding is that went on our current tax 2020.
Oh,
That's going out in winter tax bill.
that one.
And then now for the 2020 drains, we have some dollar amount of 32. That has already gone out in the tax bill, is my understanding, the 33,500, with the portion of the township of the 10,050, including what doesn't show is it doesn't show the residence cost. And my understanding is that went out in our tax bill in 2020 winter tax bills.
Okay. I can't speak to what got put on the 2020.
So, and then I don't see this, I see like a redo of the 33,500 and the 1050, which to me it's already happened. But that's where my confusion, I don't see how that motion resolution ties to the 2020 and the upfront paperwork.
Okay. Then I may have made a mistake. Or Mr. Miller may have made a mistake. I don't know.
So I'm all for it. I just don't see where it's
okay.
Connecting the dots.
Because I
think I can comment on that if it's helpful.
Okay.
Yeah,
please, Evan.
It does look like, I totally agree, those two numbers do not match. I know our discussion in the office was the Horseshoe Lake outlet. We asked you for the 33.5 last year, and that didn't go as far as we would have liked. It was very difficult work. As you may have seen, it's not a creek you can jump across, and we moved a little slower than we thought. So we are requesting the exact same amount again this year, the 33,500. A little further into the packet, there is actually a resolution on the letterhead from my office.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one that has the 33,500. So I think it would be fair to say that the total amount for 2020 in there is greater in the summary table than what's shown. I think that where it says 20,000, I think we did a late change and didn't communicate that well to the supervisor, that we were looking for 33,520 instead of the 20,000, based on just how figured out it was as we were coming in the last couple of weeks here. So I think that's our fault. But it's 33.5 is the request this year, and Ton's correct. That's the same amount as last year.
Okay. Well, that helps clear up the numbers. So basically, the people in the Horseshoe Lake area outlet drain can expect the same amount on their taxes next year.
Correct. And we hope that's enough to totally clear out that outlet drain. I can't sit here today and guarantee that. That's what we're budgeting for. We'd like to be done and just have it 2 years in a row like that. But if we can't get through it all, we will be back to you.
Okay.
I mean, I get it. I mean, it's just that a lot of people, obviously, the drain isn't necessarily the people on Horseshoe Lake, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know how to best communicate it, other than we're going to get a lot of screaming when the tax bills come due.
Yeah.
That's all I can tell you. And I know your letter went out, and even that adds some confusion, but there's going to be probably a lot of unhappy people coming to the office about the drain. So.
You're correct. We received many calls. I heard from the president and past president of the Horseshoe Lake Association, and I spent time walking through what was proposed with them and what they got for it last year and so forth. And you're correct, not everybody's on the lake, but the water is coming from everybody, and that's the way we usually explain.
Yeah, and it's just a hard thing to explain, obviously, and the people in the office will get the brunt of it, unfortunately. So I guess my question is, how do we best explain it, other than your letter going out. It's, the communication is key, because again, a lot of people are in the drain that affect the lake, but aren't on the lake, and that's all.
Oh, I've got an idea.
Good.
Maybe we get a little teeny blurb we can put into our newsletter that's going to go out at the end of this, that we need to get to the printer by the end of this week.
Correct. I mean, that would be helpful to remind. I actually put a little bit in there under the treasurer that, to help with it. I can't remember how I wrote it, but there is something under the treasurer department. And I did say, call Evan Pratt. If you have drain questions, again, the office is the persons that are going to get it when they look at it and say, holy cow, what's this for? So anyway,
okay.
Thank you for the clarification. I understand it now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
I just put this in the record, and I'll be quiet from here on unless there's another question. But Mallory's.
Nope, we missed you.
Evan. Oops. Mr. Pratt.
Mallory did that.
Oh, I bet she did.
Yes. Are we here?
We are now.
Sorry. It's.
Yeah.
I wonder what he must live where he doesn't have very good internet also.
I'm sure we have her number. If not, we can get it.
Actually,
We can.
we have her number.
Yeah.
Emily and I have her number in the office, because we do call Mallory, and Mallory is very, very good to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we have a number.
All I'm going to do is talk to Mallory.
Okay. Maybe we'll change the newsletter, Evan Pratt, and put Mallory, her last name, and call her, and she'll be happy about that.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
All right. Bellinger,
Yes.
Zelenak,
Yes.
Otto,
Yes.
Manley, yes. Docket,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Shockley,
Yes.
7-0.
Wow. Nice. Thank you.
So Marlene, I had one question for Evan, and this
Yes.
had to do with the Wildwood drain work. There was work that was done across Barker Road. And I haven't been down there this week, but when I was over there over the weekend, it looked like the road was not repaired. Who repairs the road? Is that MDOT, or the county that comes in and repairs it?
That's the road commission, and we did coordinate with the road commission on some of the work we did, and they had a work to do across Barker Road as well, and we are coordinating with them. I will double check when they plan to come back if you like, and I can share that with the full-time officials at least.
Well, they could have already done it. I'm not sure, but because I haven't been down there this week, but I was there on the weekend and I didn't see that it was done. So I just thought I'd bring it up.
Thanks. That's an easy check.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for your support and taking care.
Can I ask one more question for Mr. Pratt?
Okay, quick, before he leaves.
Very quickly. When do you intend to do something from the lake to Main Street?
Okay.
In other words, you went from Main Street down to your pump station, and that's south. That's north. I mean, when are you going to go south of Main Street to Horseshoe Lake? Do you have any idea?
We'd like to get out there this year. That stretch isn't quite as bad as all the way at the end by 8 Mile, but we'd like to get there this year. I will the field staff and the officials. I can do that.
Okay, I'll have to read it in the minutes I can. Did you say you're going to do it the next year or so?
That's the plan.
So there'll be another resolution to exceed at that point, correct?
There may be. It depends on how far we get along.
Okay.
Sorry for you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Evan.
Thank you. Okay. So the next item, being done with that, The next item was on the agenda before, and Mr. Ains was supposed to talk to the Horseshoe Lake Association people about this, not me. And but things had been kind of tied up with agenda items and agendas being packed. And I wanted to get this back in front of the board before the end of the year so that we could take care of this and the township would not then be liable for paying taxes on these parcels.
What would be the motion for adopting this resolution?
Well, I was just anticipating, well, you could just make a motion to adopt the resolution, but if it doesn't meet the needs of the Horseshoe Lake Association, I don't want to get them upset. We cannot simply donate the land to the Horseshoe Lake Association. We can't do that.
Oh, why can't we?
That it's a legal issue, and Mr. Fink has looked into it and has sent back information on that. So townships don't donate. That's what MTA says. We can't just give land away.
Okay.
So,
So that's what, we needed an explanation. No explanation was given other than we can't do it.
we can't do it. So the board thought we could do that, and then they had talked to the people at the Horseshoe Lake, and they were thinking that they could put together this nonprofit and accept all this land. And the attorney says, no, we can't really do that. So, and they haven't actually set up their nonprofit yet. But if the township set up this wetland preserve, it would come off, because it's a public benefit, it would come off the tax rolls. The township would no longer have to pay taxes on those properties. And the Horseshoe Lake Association, if they wanted, could also donate their parcels to this wetland preserve. And then their parcels would come off the tax rolls too. And they pay taxes on theirs, the ones that they own, they don't intend to develop either. So the only reason this is back before us is so that we could talk about it and have the attorney, if this resolution is not to your liking, put together something that would fit the needs of both the Horseshoe Lake Association and the board. That's the only reason it's on. I'm not expecting you to adopt it, but it's back. So you're thinking about it before the end of the year. We got 2 more meetings before the end of the year. So anyway, Miss Otto has had her hand up.
I think it was Janet that had her hand up.
First, okay, go ahead, Miss Chick.
So I know when it first came up, there was some questions from actually Horseshoe Lake residents asking if any of those pieces of property were offered to them to buy, and then therefore you can keep them on the tax rolls. So have we gotten any offers from anybody in the Horseshoe Lake Association to buy any of them?
Mr. Ains may know, well, the board approved the sale and it fell through, but Mr. Ains?
Didn't we have one from Bill Hand?
Yes, Mr. Ains can speak to that. Unmute, Mr. Ains. Okay.
When I last spoke to Ms. Chuckley about this, we thought it was falling through with the one lot because the buyer wanted to have a warranty deed rather than a quitclaim deed. But since then, they worked out a deal between their attorney and ours that we could go ahead and proceed with selling the one lot to him. So
Okay.
I don't know that that's been finalized yet, but that was the direction they were going. Then he had asked about several other properties, and then another party there had asked about several, but they were right in the middle of where a lot of these other lots are that you own.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were going to put it into a preservation district, you wouldn't want to sell those. But if you're trying to get them out to other parties, that's when you might want to sell to adjacent property owners.
Okay. Ms. Otto.
So the question comes into this, is that the township now puts them in a preserve, then it is open for all the township to use those properties, right?
There can be a deed restriction put on them, is my understanding.
Did we ever look into the deed restriction? Because we have never heard anything back in the deed restriction.
Well, this is where the board needs to provide its desires to the attorney, and then he'll be able to put together a package that's acceptable. But if he doesn't know, if we don't know what the board wants to do and what the Horseshoe Lake Association is acceptable to them, then we can't really put a package together. So it's a good idea for y'all to figure out what you want to do with these land. I mean, you can keep paying taxes on it if you want, but I think we can do something so that we don't have to do that.
So I think the problem of this is that we were waiting for information and we never got it. So one of the things that we need to do is, I think the board, the last time we discussed this is, and this is what a number of the people from Horseshoe Association board said, is they didn't want this property to be public. That they wanted it to be still part of the Horseshoe Lake Association. So if that is a deed restriction, we need to know if we could do it. We have asked for this information, we just haven't gotten it.
Yeah.
I thought we asked for information on a deed restriction from the attorney. I don't know which attorney it was, but
Neither do I. So I feel like we've come down to where we were when we first discussed this. We're no further along than we initially brought to us.
Right. We had a turnover of attorneys just about this time last year, and which kind of.
What do we need to do? Do we need to make a motion to have our attorneys look at doing I don't know.
Options.
You know, putting it in a preserve and with deed restrictions, and also, again, we asked the township manager to work with Horseshoe Lake on it. I don't know why motions aren't followed. A year later, we're back where we were. So what do we need to do? Obviously, motions don't work. I would like, again, the intent when it was these properties were bought were to preserve the lake.
Yes.
I think, and I would like to pursue that option to have that happen as one board member. My concern is if you start selling the property to certain individuals, how do you not sell it all to all individuals?
Exactly.
Right.
So, and I don't think that's the intent. Hey, if you're going to sell property, I wouldn't mind owning a piece and put my kayak on and go on the lake. I don't think that certainly is not my intent. My intent is to do why we bought it originally was to preserve the land, to protect the lake. And that's what I would like to pursue, is whatever we need to do to pursue that avenue and come back with options. I don't know why we couldn't sell them to them for $1, or, you know, they could buy it from us from $1. But again, I think we get into an issue of selectively selling some to some people and not to everybody. And I don't think that's what we want to do. If anything, then we'll just keep it and pay the taxes.
Right.
Okay. Ms.
That's
Bell.
my position on it.
Let it be suggested that Horseshoe Lake, we need to find out what their investment and involvement would be with this. And obviously the attorney to find out what we can legally do and can't do. Sounds like some meetings with other peoples needs to come together. Obviously the board said we wanted to take it off the tax rolls to a preserve. If that can't be possible due to the Horseshoe Lake Corporation, then that kind of ties the hands of maybe we can't do what we want. But if there's some way to make an agreement with Horseshoe Lake Corporation, then that should be suggested. People should meet and then come back to the board with some suggestions, some documentation, some paperwork, and some contracts.
Yep.
So how do we do that? What we want to do with this, because really we're not going to be able to do much with this until these other meetings and questions get ironed out.
I would make the motion is to table this to another, to the new board.
Mr. Dockett had his hand up.
I have something to say too.
Go ahead, Mr. Dockett.
Well, you say we can't give away the township land, but we can give away the profit that the taxes bring in for that land. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I would like to see a report from the assessor on this. How much, what are we talking about money-wise that we're giving away? We're giving away everyone's money to a private corporation that you can't go there, you can't go on their property, you can't go on their lake unless you own property there. Why should everybody in the township have to give up the tax money it brings in? I don't understand it.
Yeah, Mr. Dockett, I think you're confused about, this is the land that the township owns. So
I know, and the township pays taxes on it, right?
Itself and this, everybody else. So we're not.
Well, there's money involved, right? So
Yeah.
we can give away the money. We can't give away the land, but we can give away the money. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, well, I'm not following you, but anyway, I'm happy with the next board figure in this.
Well, why don't we get something from the assessor so we know something? What's he think about this? I think it might be interesting. I talked to him a year or so ago, and he said there's no way he's taking this stuff off the tax roll. You know, that's what he told me.
He put it back on.
Yeah. Can we just follow our motion that we made to have the township manager work with Horseshoe Lake and come back with a proposal?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily Horseshoe Lake's business. I mean, we're not giving it to Horseshoe Lake. We can't Horseshoe Lake, but we could get input from Horseshoe Lake.
That's what I'm asking is, let's get input from Horseshoe Lake. I know Scott Chisholm, the president of the corporation, mentioned that he was pretty much okay with the resolution, except he's looking for a deed restriction.
Okay.
So maybe we can have our township manager execute the motion that I could go look up when we did to work with Horseshoe Lake, let them know, obviously then at that point, work with our attorney and come back with a proposal as we have asked over, I don't know, I'd have to again, look at the motion to find out when we asked that. I'm just asking that we execute the motion that was presented.
That's reasonable. Why wouldn't the Land Preservation Committee be interested in helping to champion project?
We have no authority, but we could certainly, I could certainly participate in any meeting that would like to happen, and I could, again, that wasn't the motion. If we want to make a different motion, we could certainly do that. I would more than happy participate.
Okay, it just hasn't gotten up to the top of anybody's priority. Mr. Ains has been busy with a lot of stuff, and it's been on my radar screen for a long time, but
if you'd like, if the board, at the board's pleasure to take it, I'm sure we would love to participate.
I would love the board, somebody on the board, to champion this thing through in the next 4 years. Or hopefully sooner than that, but.
Yeah, hopefully, if you would like me to champion that through, I would certainly more than be willing to work and champion it through. Taxes are almost out, so we're pretty good.
You got it as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Thank you.
So we have a motion to table.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I assume that we're going to have Ains and or Zelenak work on trying to get with Horseshoe Lake and figure out what we can do and work with the attorney and come back with something tangible.
Yes.
Sounds great.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Somewhere, the deadline would be somewhere in the first quarter.
Okay, so we'll pay taxes in December again on these.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's anything.
Anyway.
Yeah. You would have to pay them anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're talking, what, $3,000, not that it's anything to sneeze at, probably 600 properties was my estimate. If I can get something done before that, we'll try. We'll certainly, but it has to get, obviously the assessor then would have to do something as well, so.
It would still be on the tax bill.
Yeah, okay. He's
It's
got all
gonna
that.
It would be for next year.
Yep.
Will it, if it gets off by December 31st, would it be?
It's as of tax day, December 31st of last year.
Right, it's gonna be on this
By the end of
tax
this
bill,
year.
but to make it on the next tax bill, you'd have to do something by the end of
December
December.
31st.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Okay. All right, so that's tabled. Oh, do we have to vote on
Yes.
tabling? Okay,
Yeah, make a motion to table it.
okay.
I'll support.
Motion by Zelnok, support by Chick to table. All right, vote please.
Thought auto tabled.
Yeah, actually, I tried to make the motion first, but that's okay.
Okay, well,
Either or.
highest bidder gets it. No,
How about latest bidder?
I don't care who gets it.
Gets us to the same place.
All
So
right.
it's
I'll
fine, I
support
don't care either.
anybody.
There you go. Yep, good, got it.
All right. Bellinger,
Yes.
Docket,
What ours is this, the table?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The answer's yes.
Zelenak,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Broccoli,
Yes.
Manley, yes. Otto,
Yes.
7-0.
Okay. Next item, trustee liaison reports. I guess I will make a motion to accept all of them.
Support.
Motion by Chalkley, support by Bellinger. Do we need any pulled out?
Yes, I'd like to pull out the finance report. Please.
Okay,
So we do have 2 CDs maturing. I plan on reinvesting them, thinking the interest rate, based on what I've seen so far, is going to be about 0.2%. So I just want to give people a heads up on that. One's coming mature on 11/16, which is very shortly, and 11/20. And you do see on the ACH, it's usually $1, not 0, because we keep $1 in it, but we did get a late payment from the state for the revenue sharing that we didn't move. We did set up, even though it wasn't set up at the end of October, but we did set up the 2020 bond construction account. And so we are working to get the information over to Basinski so that they can transfer the approximately $3.8 million into that account on November 18th is the plan. So that's all I wanted to add.
well, thank you.
It's been a busy month, actually.
Yep.
Audit going on and bond signatures and taxes going out. Just as busy as like the election. It's my turn now.
I would like to say something about the clerk, the liaison, the clerk department.
Go ahead.
I would like to thank the clerk for all the good information on the election. She's got everything in here that I would ever ask about. So thank you very much. It's very, very complete.
Thank you. And thank you for Christina for pulling that together, and Stacy.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other items needing to be pulled out of the liaison reports? Okay, I will mention that I will provide that total for the community center project by email to the board, and you can do what you want with it.
Doesn't matter now.
Pardon?
Doesn't matter now.
It does matter still. We're still having challenges with the flooring. I guess I will just mention after a long harangue, we picked out the flooring, and then I find out that it's no longer being made. So we're still dealing with that. I'm trying to keep it in budget, and we're still going to get some good stuff. I'm not going to run over budget on that one. And I've argued with the guy about the cost of it. So hoping to get something really good again, but having a challenge with that. So working on that. And I will get you a total for that. I've had a lot of stuff going on this past week. So I couldn't get to it, but thank you. Okay, anything else? All right. Vote on the accepting of trustee liaison reports, please.
Right. Manley, yes. Chick,
Yes.
Hockley,
Yes.
Docket,
Yes.
Otto,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Belenek,
Yes.
7-0.
Thank you. And now I would like to call on Mr. Ains, sorry, for whatever he wants to say for announcements.
As was mentioned earlier, with the changes in the board, my assistant Jennifer had brought to my attention that maybe we should be doing a certificate of appreciation. And so she developed these, which you may not be able to see real well, but they're recognizing the supervisor's service for the 4 years, as well as Ms. Bellinger and then Mr. Docket for the 12 years. We have gotten some of the signatures by the board. When we get all 6 of the ones that aren't the one receiving it, then we'll frame them and get them back out to you. But staff wants to thank the 3 of you for your service during this time that we've worked with you.
Okay, any other announcements by the board? Ms. Bellinger?
I believe Parks and Rec has a meeting this Thursday, and there is a survey online for Parks and Rec master plan. And I believe hard copies may be available at the township hall there. Thank you, Steve and Jennifer and all the board members for the certificate of appreciation. That's very, very kind. Thank you so very much. Appreciate that. That'd be a good memento. Thank you.
Other announcements?
Yes, I want to ask a question, please.
Okay.
I'd like to know, what do I turn in? I have my key and I have my ID. I would like to turn it back into the township. I took my book on the big book that I got for the plant department. So I brought that back. So that's the only thing I know that I have that I should turn in. Is there anything else I should turn in?
I'm sure you can work with Jennifer to, she'll be able to get that back from you. You're still a trustee until November 20th at noon, Mr. Docket.
Oh, we're still on until the 20th?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll keep my key and stuff until then, because I may have to pick up my emails. So thank you.
Yes, please do, because who knows, we may need another special meeting. So,
Excuse me?
we may need another special meeting.
Oh, I won't. Good luck.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Miss Otto.
Okay, mine is just an announcement. The Kiwanis is going to start their Christmas tree sales on November 28th at 75 Barker. The trees will be located outside in the parking lot. The times for sales are Fridays from 4 to 8, Saturdays and Sundays from 12 to 5. And we are getting Fraser firs again this year. 6 to 7 foot trees, $45 a tree.
Okay, thank you. I want to mention, oh, sorry, I'll let Ms. Chick go ahead.
So for Ms. Otto, how are you implementing social distancing? And what kind of precautions are they taking?
Oh, for social distancing? Well, all volunteers have to wear masks. For social distancing, we don't get enough people on a rotating basis where we have to have a lineup. So we do mark off the area for the trees, and so we're going to probably use that for social distancing, that only one person can come in to the gated area for the tree and then move it back out into the park. And then I just wanted to add that all proceeds go to the 4th of July parade.
I'll mention that the DDA is having an information meeting on November 18th by Zoom, posted. So if anyone wants to attend that, 7 p.m. in the evening. Okay. Any other announcements? Okay. We're moving to second call to the public. Do we have any members of the public who would like to address the board at this time? Please raise your hand. There's, okay, Mr. Dignan. Welcome.
There, are you able to hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to thank Ms. Chalkley, Ms. Bellinger, and Mr. Dockett for your service. It is appreciated in the community, and look forward to being a part of the new board going forward. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Any other, okay, we have probably Mr. Olney. Go ahead, Mr. Olney.
Yes, Adam Olney, 9315 Lakewood Court. I was just wondering about the election results for the library board. I know there was some write-in candidates and there was additional openings to the 3 of the actual candidates. So I didn't know if those results were public yet or what. I haven't really seen them anywhere. So other than that, I'd like to thank those of you who are leaving the board for your service, and congratulations to those who are on the new board. Obviously, I was hoping for a better result, but I look forward to those who are on the board moving Northfield Township forward and taking on any other opportunities that may come in the future for me, whether it be just volunteering, being on a committee or a board, or just being a meeting attendee. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Koenig is, nope, there's hands down. Okay. Oh, I have one hand up, but I don't know who. Oh, it must be Mr. Dockett. No?
No.
No, it was Shannon.
Who?
Shannon.
Yes, okay. Shannon? Oh, there you go. Can you speak now? I don't know what to do about it.
Did you talk to her through typing or something?
Please read my comment.
She was chatting.
She said she just wanted to say goodbye and thanks to Wayne, Arlene, and a special shout out to Ton. Thank you for your no vote this evening on AT&T, seeing the bigger picture here. Thank you for trying to help our town from not going to pot. That was a brave stance.
Okay. Thank you, Shannon. Okay. Anyone else in the public out there? No? Okay. Board member comments. Any board members would like to speak? Ms. Manley.
Yeah, I just want to reply to Adam. We should have the library board results on Thursday. Those have to get certified from the county. So as soon as I get those, I will get them out and have Jennifer post them on Facebook and the internet and all that. So hopefully we'll hear by Thursday.
Great. Ms. Bellinger.
Yeah, I want to thank those for the kind words tonight with regards to our service, the public service. I'd like to close out my term in office with this prepared statement. It is by grace that we are blessed with a governing structure in this country whose development I firmly believe is guided by the hand of divine providence. A government by the people, for the people, and painstakingly crafted to protect the rights of the people. I'm humbled to have been entrusted to accept the oath of office, swearing to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States and of this state, protecting your rights and exercising a cautious respect of our tax dollars has been the principles of my approach to policy, as well as the general welfare and safety of our beloved and blessed community. The true treasure of our community is its people, nothing more, nothing less. And in our community, God has blessed us tremendously. I, Tom Bellinger, thank the people in Northfield for having entrusted my service as your public functionary in our township. Thank you.
Anybody else? Ms. Chips?
Yeah, I wanted to thank Kathy and Christina and Stacy for all the work they did on November 3rd. That was a crazy turnout. There was a lot of people, and I think it's probably the biggest voter turnout we've ever had. I don't know what the records show, but it sure seemed like it. And I also want to thank all the voters that came out to vote, whether you voted for whoever you voted for participating in that. It was an important election nationally and locally as well. I also wanted to thank all the current board members that are returning and welcome them again. I'd be looking forward to working with everybody again, and appreciate the fact that I got elected as well. And welcome again to the new board members. Look forward to a great 4 years, and thank you again, Marlene, Wayne, and Ton for your service, and it was very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to say something, Ms. Otto?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone who worked at the polls. I know that they worked very, very hard. There were many times that there were lineups, and there was people. This was probably the biggest voting record that we've had. And I appreciate everything that Kathy and her team did for the election. I also wanted to thank Northfield Township for your confidence and faith in me. Northfield Township has a board going into the new 2020-2021 board year. And I look forward to working with them, and I also look forward to working with those who are leaving the board. I'm sure that they will still participate in our community.
Thank you. Mr. Dockett, did you want to say anything?
Yes, we finally figured out how to have a 2.5-hour meeting. Better late than never, I say. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Zelnok, did you want to say anything?
Sure, a bunch of thank yous. Again, first, I'd like to thank all the voters for coming out and thank them for their support in re-electing me for my second term. I would like to thank the members of the board, Ms. Chalkley, as well as Ms. Bellinger, and who am I? Ms. Chalkley, Ms. Bellinger, and Mr. Dockett. How can I forget you, Mr. Dockett, for all your service. And Ms. Chick, you did a lovely thank you note, or at the beginning of the meeting, you captured everything very nicely. Thank you for that. And I'd welcome the new board members and look forward to moving forward. And one thing I do have for Mr. Ains, we probably need to do a budget adjustment. We've been spending a lot of money over the last quarter. I look forward to seeing a budget adjustment coming in December or early January. I think we mentioned we were going to do them quarterly. We're almost to our second quarter. And so I look forward to having that done. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Can I just add one more thing?
Okay.
Ms. Manley? Go ahead. Okay. I also wanted to thank the other candidates that ran for office. It takes a brave, special kind of person to put your neck out there and show your interest in working with the township and advise all of them to continue their efforts in some capacity to work with the township going forward. You are the kind of people the township needs. So thank you for that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Politics is kind of a hard life, you know. You can't make everybody happy.
No, you can't.
Yep. So, yeah. But I just want to say that we really did accomplish many things over the last 4 years. I had things in mind when I got elected, and I hope that I served well. I tried. But we did accomplish many things, and we pretty much started with that, getting that non-motorized path done that was quite a challenge, but we got that done. I'm going to make a list of all of these things and put in the next newsletter, you know. So the non-motorized path, we upgraded all the street lights along Main Street. And we will save money on that over time. We completed a new master plan. We've got a play path for the kids. We finally are going to build the equalization basin. And I know some people weren't crazy about that, but that's going to be a big plus for the township moving forward. We're going to have the new parking lot for the community center. We have public broadband in 2 locations. If people don't know that, if they get really slow stuff at their house, they can come to the township hall, park in the back by the fire station, or they can go to fire station number 2 and park there, and they can get hook into Wi-Fi and get fast broadband for, you know, for their needs if they're working on something at home or for their kids or whatever. So we actually, and that's not everything, but that's, we did accomplish a lot. It was like making, maybe worse than making sausage sometimes. You know, it's hard to get this many people to, it is like herding cats at times, but I have to say that the staff that the township has is phenomenal. You know, I can't say enough good things about the staff people here. And then I will miss a lot of you, them and a lot of you board members too. Thank you, Baton and Wayne, for serving too, even though Wayne and I probably only voted the same once or twice. You know, I did learn from him, and he kept me up late at night sometimes after meetings as I attempted to calm down. But we did have a lot of lively discussions as a board, and that's important, you know, that everybody's voice is heard. And I do appreciate all of you. I still have some more work to do. November 20th at noon, I plan to serve out my term. And I want to thank you all for the way you're committed to the township. And then all of you members of the public, you know, please continue to support the township and provide your input and be good citizens. So I guess I would like to end with find something that gives you joy to do. And I wish you all health, happiness, and prosperity, and a wonderful holiday season. So thank you, everybody. I'd like to move to adjourn. Do I have support?
Support.
Motion by Chalkley, support by Manley. Do we need a roll call? No. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Right?
Good night.